So very recently I did something I have never really done before as far as I can remember, at least since I was a little kid, and it was basically required of me as as a child, which is I joined a club. And this all started because basically I was influenced by an Instagram ad. I've gotten super into Formula One since probably 3-ish, 4 years ago, something like that. Early days of Drive to Survive, which if you haven't seen, it's worth a watch. I think if 5 years ago you told me I would have liked Formula One, I would have liked any racing of any sort, I would have told you you were out of your mind. But it got me at the right time, and I've just been such a fan of Formula One ever since. In fact, so much so that I feel like I don't like any other sport at all right now because just Formula One is cooler. So I saw an Instagram ad for Slow Club Garage, who was hosting a Formula One watch party. I was out of town, but I have been watching Formula One for 3 or 4 years now, and I have only one time watched it in public, and it was not in Minnesota. So gave him a follow and thought, cool idea. I'm like, my interest is piqued by just that possibility alone. But then I saw just kind of more and more what they're doing, and it's just kind of exciting stuff that I don't think there's anything like it going on in Minnesota, and that was enough for me to reach out. reached out to them and said, hey y'all, I really think what you're doing is super cool. At the very least, can I talk about you on my new channel, on my new series? And we hung out for a bit. And as you can see, this place is pretty sweet. It is now known as Millrace Motor Club. They changed the name pretty recently to go along with some new additions that they are in the middle of right now. This location is in Edina. It's the primary location, but they have really cool upcoming plans in the next 6 months or so that I will continue to show what they're up to on this channel. I'll hint at it when it makes sense as well. But I officially joined Millrace Motor Club, and Millrace is primarily vehicle storage. I don't have a vehicle to store here. I mean, I could, but I drive all my vehicles right now, and I don't store any of them, although these are very drivable. So if you stored a vehicle here and wanted to drive it, it's a very simple process to do so. So vehicle storage and social club, which I think is one of the most exciting aspects of what Millrace is doing. Of course, you could store your car in a lot of places. They're not as cool as this, they're not as fun as this, and they certainly lack the social club aspect of things. There's plenty of storage out there, but there's really nothing quite like this. And I promise none of this is sponsored by Millrace. I reached out to them on my own accord, to see if I could kind of be a part of what they're doing because I think it's something really cool. Now having the membership, really, really exciting to me. The memberships I think are super reasonable. And obviously car storage is not something that's super on my radar at the moment. Motorcycle storage is, so that's a thing that I will likely be taking advantage of. But it's more about the social club aspect. And I think of this room as kind of the showroom or the storage room. Showroom is much more flattering. It's way more than storage, right? It's much cooler than if it was just storing these cars. It's showing off these cars. These cars are visible, they're intended to be seen, right? And then there's, just on the other side of the camera, as you saw, there's more the clubhouse or the office space, if you will. And that space, I think, is a really great kind of third place option because it's in Edina. I don't have any office space in Edina. It's kind of in part of the metro that I don't have really slick access to, like a go-to space. I have my office in downtown Minneapolis, actually just across the river, in Nicollet Island, Minneapolis. I have my house in St. Paul. I have a duplex, not really that useful to me in that regard. That's in Cedar Isles, Dean, Minneapolis. So to have a space over on the west side of the metro right now, super, super nice, especially as somebody who does real estate, who makes videos, who's literally bopping all around the cities all the time. I'm really looking forward to having a place that I can come hang out in, get some work done in, make some calls, hang out and not just be in my truck, right? Or in the granny or something like that. And to me, that's worth the price of admission alone. But you have all the kind of added benefits of the social club aspect thing. And yeah, I'm just really thrilled to be able to use this place as a third space. And the car storage aspect of the business obviously is really, really fascinating. And I think it positions itself so cleverly in the market. There's, again, I mentioned, of course, plenty of options to just store a vehicle. There's self-storage. There's just put your car somewhere and go get it, go do it all yourself. And then there's the much more high-end, probably somewhat prohibitively expensive for some folks, but for the folks that it's not, a really good option is kind of the car condo option, where you own the condo that can park X amount of vehicles and has certain services available to you. I think Millrace is really, really interesting, really clever in that it not only is it a huge upgrade from the self-storage option, and at not too much of an increase in price. You get a huge upgrade of quality of service and just much better vibes, if I do say so. But for the car condo folks, some of the things that they're offering coming up are maybe a better option than the average car condo can possibly provide, which is they're going to have a full service department that is pretty epic. And to be able to store however many cars in the new place, presumably, and also have the service department be able to service those cars. There's not the condo that you have to maintain with you need to have a mechanic or you need to be the mechanic. And if kind of tooling around in the car is the goal, then maybe the car condo makes sense. But if you have a collection, if you have even a small collection and you don't love to maintain the car, to be able to store your car in a beautiful showroom that has a clubhouse that, by the way, the new place, without spoiling too much, it's going to have race simulators, it's going to have golf sims, other things as well. I'll peek, kind of preview some of that in the not too distant future. But you're going to have kind of that social club aspect, the service aspect, the storage, and also your collection kind of in a showroom on display in a way that I think is really cool and very satisfying. I think there's a lot of car owners who have beautiful collections, again, small or large,
a few cars or a fleet. And most of y'all want to be able to show people those things, right? And these warehouses are obviously very secure. Sorry, these showrooms. Warehouse, I have to completely get that term out of my vocabulary because I think it's just so much more than that. So you have very secure showroom spaces. There's the lift functionality. You pay per stall, right? Per bay. You don't pay per car. So if you have a summer vehicle and a winter vehicle and you just want to swap them, cool, by all means, right? That you're free to do so. I think that's really, really nice. And some of these car storage options don't necessarily allow that, or showroom options. And then the maintenance and the mechanic aspect of things, I think is really, really levels up what Millrace is doing and what they're capable of. And it really starts to allow it to compete with that car condo world, if not eclipse it, in offering something pretty compelling, right? To be able to, I think to me, that's the dream. And maybe one of the biggest reasons that I don't want to own too many things in the past, too many vehicles. I'm a no trailers forever kind of guy because I've had too many headaches with trailers. You know, I don't even like owning a lawnmower very much because I don't love the maintenance aspect of things. I'm happy to admit that. I like tooling around on my motorcycle for one reason or another, but I just want to be able to enjoy it. I'm too busy, right? And I'm too busy to be spending all of my time caring for the thing that I would just want to enjoy. And I understand that, you know, I've read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I understand that maybe there's something to that, but that's not what I'm looking for with a motorcycle. That's not what I'm looking for out of a vehicle either. I want to be able to enjoy it and to be able to store your vehicle or multiple vehicles here and just know that you can show up, grab it, it'll work, it'll run, it'll be not just, you know, maintained, but still it'll be immaculate. It's pretty dang enticing. So the model I think is really, really cool. And the cost I think is very reasonable. If you're a member, you obviously basically, I don't know if it's exactly like this, but it's pretty close to the money you pay for your membership just gets wiped out and you get discounts on the car storage aspect of things. But you can just be a member here like me without having a car here or a vehicle in general. But if you are a member, whether you're a basic member or the VIP member, really, really compelling, really, I think, affordable storage options to have still really, really high level of care, really high level storage where, you know, dust is controlled. Like those cars are really, really tidy. And that is super nice. Again, your storage option doesn't even come close to that. And I would say even car condos might have a hard time competing with some of that. And some of it is just because the space is getting used, right? You're not just the only one to visit your car condo from time to time. Yeah, there's a level of care for the space because it's being used by so many folks. But I think then by proxy, your vehicle will see a different level of care. So yeah, just so cool. Love what they're doing at Millrace. And yeah, I'm gonna be using this room because it's a great place to kind of settle in for a few hours and get some work done. And pretty much instantly I thought, well, now I gotta get a car to store here. So see you in the next one, y'all. Bye-bye.